Again. Hey, I'm Ray.
And I'm Zack.
Welcome to It's Multiversal Podcast, where we talk about
anything anime, comic books, really anything fictional.
Yeah, and sometimes our messed up personalities and
twisted transitions.
twisted minds. Welcome. What do you have on the agenda for today? I have one thing I for sure want to talk about.
All right. I have one thing that I for sure want to talk about as well.
You go.
Okay.
You waited all day.
I have a question for you, though.
Uh-huh.
How worried are you about me spoiling some One Piece knowledge that was spoiled for me? Okay.
None.
Because I didn't want to watch One Piece either. Now, I'm going to watch One Piece. I have to. So, I did not realize what was going on. So with the Sun God stuff, okay, and I'm probably just going to skip ahead because I am having such a hard time getting through it. But the Sun God's fight, I seen a little peek of the fight scene where he's just...
Where he's like, white?
Yeah, and he's just laughing his ass off, beating the shit out of someone, and it's great. I love that. And that's really the only reason I'm watching, but also the story behind it's a little dope. So basically the way the fruits work, whoever eats one, if they die, then that fruit that they ate reappears on a tree somewhere randomly. And the fruit that he ate was not the gum fruit. It was the imagination fruit. But since he was told it was the gum fruit, he had all these powers. And you see this one part where he has like this, I forgot what attack it's called, but his fists really catch flames, just like Ace. Oh, yeah, and it's like, boom. And then there's another one where he grows other arms. Like that one chick who grows arms. And they like look back at it and like, obviously you shouldn't have been able to do these things with just the gum fruit. Like this makes so much sense. And so that's what it is. He's got right?
Because that fucking power is so dumb.
It's so dumb.
So boring to watch when he's like, I'm gonna get you, let me stretch my arm out. Gum bazooka.
Yeah, dude.
And like,
and gum bazooka, and you just punch him. What?
Yeah. Are you eating zebra striped gum? Like, I don't get it. I don't know. And bazooka gum is a thing.
Oh wow, yeah.
But anyways, I couldn't give it a chance because even some of the enemies, like some of their powers were just ridiculous. But not like in a good way. Not like in a, oh, this dude's cool. It was like, this is not.
Like, what is this?
Yeah, what?
Like.
What?
Like the flamingo dude, I don't even remember what his power was, but just him in general, they were trying to make him like be portrayed as like a formidable foe, and I hated every minute of it. He's
even
dumb.
the like the main like big lady that they always fight against.
Oh yeah,
she's kind of annoying too.
Yeah,
but no, I'll have to give it a shot then. Yeah, that sounds. I didn't know that, but that definitely has to change the story.
Yeah, it changed a lot for me personally, at least, because imagination fruit, that's fucking sick, dude. Like, oh god, and not only that, Luffy's imagination.
Yeah, like, no, he's already like believes anything can happen. So.
Yeah, and so it's just like, well, not only that, but he's just a fucking weird, goofy guy. You know what I mean? Love to see the shit that he comes up with in a fucking fight, especially because he's already just lighthearted, goofy during all of his fights, you know?
Yeah, he only gets angry a few times, and that's like...
But I also, from what I've heard, like, in the fights, I couldn't really tell the difference when I was watching it, but the animation turns more, like, cartoonish too, because it's supposed to be, like, his imagination.
Yeah.
Fucking bending reality, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, that's fucking sick.
Yeah, maybe I'll have to skip ahead, too, because... I tried to watch the first season and I was like, "What?"
Nah. So rough. I'm like on the third season, I think, but still, it's just.
Did you continue Bleach
the whole way through?
Or did you give up?
No, I'm in it. I'm in it now.
Is it getting better for you, sir? Have you met Green Zhao yet?
No, I don't think I've met Green Zhao. Doesn't sound familiar.
Okay, so they haven't gone to the like.
No. Good. I'm still very new into it because I was watching a lot of it and then I realized I should probably catch up on other things.
Yeah.
So we could talk about them. But I have caught up on Remonster. I've already watched all 3 episodes.
I'm done watching that, I think.
Okay.
No, I mean I'm gonna watch the next one. I'll probably watch the whole first season, but I thought that at one point in these first couple episodes they were gonna stop with this fucking calendar day shit where they wake up and then all of a sudden he's a new being. Like
And they're gonna stop right now. You don't realize that?
are you sure he's not gonna do it? It's not gonna happen again?
Dude, look at the main guy on Remonster on the picture. That's
But
him.
on the first pictures, he's also smaller.
Was he?
Yeah, I mean, in any show, when a
Yeah, no, I
character
think you're
progresses, they
right.
change scenes.
But I swear I remember seeing him and being
I
like,
just
who the
hope
fuck
that
is
it
this
gets
guy?
more badass because, like, it started out sounding like it's gonna be badass. Like, dude, this dude's got so many powers. But if he just keeps getting all these powers, it's gonna be like I got reincarnated as a slime, where all these cool things are happening, but it's not really of any existential battles or like cool or crises or anything. It's just like I ate something, I have cool powers now, and if I have to defend, I will. But let's not have a hard fight because it's I'm gonna give it a chance, but I have a suspicion that it's gonna get.
And that is very fair, and that's one thing that I already know I'm gonna hate is when he does come across his big bad, because I feel like they have to make it to where he does struggle against
Had to
somebody.
come into that world with similar something.
But there's gonna be like 10 ways where us viewers could be like, why are you not doing this? Why are you not doing that? You could kill him easily.
Yeah.
And he's like, I just can't beat this guy.
Yeah.
And then eventually one of those ideas pops in his head and he's like, I got it, but which I hate, but I also love OP characters. I'm a sucker for OP.
I like OP characters, but when they okay, I have one example, but I'll bring it up in a little bit because it's part of one of the shows I'm going to talk about. But there's an OP character I have in mind that's so far nobody has been able to beat him in the show, but he also doesn't. Sorry, this thing's bugging me.
Good.
He also doesn't like. No, I don't know. He doesn't like flaunt around and like act like, oh man, I'm just gonna fucking destroy this person. Some of the fights still last, and then he just like by the end of the fight, he's like, you're not gonna win. I'm not gonna give up, and like so, there's still some progression, and you think to yourself like, ooh, is he gonna get beat? And then he's just like, I'm fucking not gonna get beat, bitch. I'm gonna beat you. But yeah, I'll tell you about it because I know you haven't watched the show yet. So,
what show is it?
Mashal.
Oh, I have not. Okay. That's another one.
I will tell you. Okay, so just really quick.
Because I'm caught up on everything else. So I'll start that.
Yeah, cool. Well, everything else ended, so.
Well, yeah. But...
except for Remonster, but.
Oh, no, I'm not all the way caught up on Shangri-La Frontier.
I didn't realize that was 25 episodes for their first season. That's fucking so good for a first season of a show.
I wish the show was a little bit better.
Dude, you're insane. You're absolutely insane. That show is so good. What part of it do you...
I have nothing negative to say about it. I genuinely don't. I think it's a well put together show. It just has not grabbed my interest enough.
Have they already beat the night?
No, to be honest, I have fallen asleep on the episode where he's fighting that chick from one of the old games that he's played, like over and over again.
You're not even seeing any of the good stuff.
Okay, that's fair.
There's like a 5 episode series.
But there's nothing I'm like excited for. You know what I mean?
If you watch, okay, is it the redhead chick? I mean the purple hair or blonde?
How many chicks is this dude fighting?
Well, so it's not about them being chicks. So like one of the teammates in the show that he parties up with. He fights in all of his other trash MMO games.
That guy.
But that guy, it's a guy, and he always plays girl characters.
Okay.
I mean, but like, and so his voice is a guy's voice in the show because they're all real people going into VR games or going into games.
In that game, it was a girl voice.
Then it's probably...
It's when that one girl that was obsessed with the bunny rabbit like tries fighting that other girl to help him get away because she's trying to hurt him and the bunny rabbit. So she's like, I'll protect the bunny.
Oh no, it wasn't that. It's not those people. So you're still you're.
I am like episode 6.
Yeah, it will get better. Like has he even? So I know you just mentioned he has the bunny rabbit, but has he even met?
I woke up to him meeting that guy at one point, but
the big rabbit.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, he's so badass.
Is he?
He's such a cool like. master wisdom NPC type guy. He's super cool.
And with all the VR that I've been playing, you would think I'd be a little bit more interested in
I
this,
just like it so much because, and you're not even into any of the good. You haven't even got to any good fight scenes. Actually, none. Right now, you've seen him like fight a couple of things, and you can kind of see like he's OP because he's played so many trash games. But once he starts, he gets in some fights. You can start to see why he's so good at utilizing broken things in other games. Like is helping him so much. You can see why that's helping him.
Okay.
And he just becomes super good at all these fights, and then people will be like, "Hey, don't go fight anybody in this region. They're way too powerful for you." And then you see him like sneak away and just go and get his ass destroyed, but he just keeps going back to fight them. He's like, I'm gonna figure something out, and then by the end of it, you see him figure something out. And you're just like, this it's so good that they're like coming up with these things to push his story forward and like show you why he's as good as he is, instead of just being like, this is one of the best players, and this is why, and then don't ever talk about it again.
Okay, yeah, I'll give
They're like
it.
actually building onto his personality and stuff.
I'll give it more of a chance.
Yes,
I know I haven't given it much of a chance yet. It's just the whole fact of me, like when I watch anime and like I get involved mentally. I'm like fucking almost like I'm living this. And then when he's just like when he's in a virtual reality and I know that, I'm like, I don't care about a video game. You know what I mean? And so
but
it's like,
I have a feeling it's not actually a virtual reality game. I mean, it is, but I have a feeling it's going to be something similar to Sword Art Online.
I've never seen anything about Sword Art Online.
Oh my gosh.
I thought it was honestly like an art show anime, like how they have the cooking show animes.
Zack. Sword Art Online started. Okay, maybe not started. I don't know like every anime, but it was the big push into VR for anime. Like the whole idea of people getting sucked into VR. The idea behind Sword Art Online is, and it's not even close to Shangri-La Frontier, where they're like, "Oh, we play all these games." No, the main character Kirito, he has played the beta test for this, and so he already like knows the basic low level stuff, like the first dungeon. He knows how to get levels up and stuff. And so they go into this game, and he meets a new guy, and he's showing him the ropes a little bit for the first episode. Well, then they all get teleported to the main town, and they can't. The dude who like runs the game, the admin, comes into the game and says, "You guys cannot leave. If you unplug your headset, you will die. The only way you can get out of this game alive is by completing the dungeons." Like this big tower. You have to get to the top and beat the last boss. And so people are like, we don't believe you. And they start taking off headsets, and you just see people start dying in real life, like anywhere they've been in this game. So the point of this game the show isn't to just like go in and have fun. No, they are, it gets to a point where they're like doing PKing, and there's player killers, and they go into these, like you see them fight these insane bosses through every dungeon, outside of dungeons. And it's just, they finally get to the end, and they finally get out of the game and win the game. The guy kills himself, the creator. And
why has no one recommended this shit to me? This is ridiculous. What?
And so many people died in the show. And there is like 6 seasons of it. And each one of them is a different, it's not them going into that world again. It's them playing a different VR game. And maybe they didn't get stuck in these ones, but they meet up with people who were from the other games, and so they find out that like he's in there, and then everybody in the game's like coming after him because he's the black swordsman basically from Sword Art Online. Oh man, you have to watch it. I would skip the second and third season and then go straight into the fourth and fifth after, but
I'm watching it ahead of everything.
I'll show you a trailer before you leave tonight.
Good.
It's so good. It's actually one of the pushes that got me back into anime. Like I started watching it and I couldn't stop.
So have you seen the thing? I've heard people say that it's proof that we're living in a simulation, which I don't really. I got a small mind. It's hard for me to wrap my head around whether or not this is proof or not. You know?
Yeah.
But anyways, have you seen the thing where they look through? I totally forget the smart words they use, but anyways, there's like something that proves that the world is like knows that we're observing it, so they shine like these lights through a crack, and they're supposed to like make a certain wave, but they didn't make the wave unless it was like there was a camera there like observing it, and they knew it.
Yeah.
And so like it was like proof basically that the universe works different when it realizes it's being watched, and it's like. And the guy who was explaining it in one of the videos I watched, he's like, doesn't disprove any religion, doesn't disprove that there's a creator. If anything, it proves that there is a creator more than anything.
Basically saying that the world or the solar system has its own, the universe has its own mind.
Exactly.
And it's controlling what certain things can and can't do, or if they can escape what
But the title of this same video was, this is proof that we're living in a simulation. You know? And so... beyond just the title, I don't know if anything actually really made me think that we're living in a simulation. But after reading, like watching that shit, and then talking about games like this, you know what I mean? Drives me fucking mad. Not in a bad way. I love it because
you're just like, if I turn 80 and I die and I wake up in the right place, I'm gonna be so fucking mad. Exactly. Like if I wake up in the real world after I die, I'm just gonna be like, what the?
I will be so upset, but only to an extent, just because I will know that part of me that sits there and feels dumb for watching these videos and being like, oh, what if? You know what I mean? That little part of me was right. So I'd be like, hell yeah. You know, but at the same time, it's hard for me to actually come to a conclusion. Like, I love conspiracy theory videos.
I just leave it open. For me, I like thinking that there's something else out there. I like, if I ever have a chance to go to Mars, I will. Like, if they ever ask me to move to Mars, like in those expeditions, I'm already going to die here. There's no plan here that says, like, if you reach level 100, you could live eternity and be happy. No, I'm going to die anyway. So fucking take me to Mars.
Have you heard
at least I can be there and be like, hey, I died on Mars after stepping on it for 5 seconds. Well, guess what, guys? I went to Mars. I mean, I can't say that anymore. I died, but people on Earth could say I went to Mars.
Neil deGrasse Tyson. deGrasse. What's his name? I thought it was
Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Neil deGrasse.
deGrasse.
I thought it was straight up like the Degrassi, you know, with Drake in the wheelchair and everything. But anyways.
That was so good. I'm going to tag him in that one.
I'm happy to.
I mean, I'm not like he's going to for sure look, but that's funny.
Hopefully. But anyways, that guy, he talks about when he dies, he wants to be launched into a black hole and just be spaghettified, right?
Yeah.
Or whatever fucking happens. He doesn't say or whatever happens. He seemed pretty confident that he's just getting spaghettified. Me, I don't know. You know what I mean? But I'd love to find out. Is if I make it past 80, I want to be in control of the way that I go, because I know it's coming real soon. You know what I mean? And at that point, if we have the availability to just be launched in outer space, I'd pay whatever it takes. You know what I mean?
I would either like to go visit somewhere. I mean, not visit somewhere like I'm going on a vacation, but like I would like to go see somewhere outside of the world. Actually, I've never even been out of the country, so that would be that would be a nice start.
Yeah, I agree.
And not just, I don't want to go somewhere and just be like, oh, it's nice to go rock climbing. No, I would like to go see some fucking pyramids or something that I could be like, I never thought I'd see this shit in my whole life.
I really
in person
really want to go see the Northern Lights so bad, but I hate the cold.
Like, well, I mean, you can see them from a lot of places, but you want to see them like at the North Pole.
I just want to get the experience. Can you just barely see them? Or
no, there's places all over the United States that you could get really good sights on them.
Oh, well, then
where they
like
come. There's a line that they come across that you could see them through the sky.
I want to be on the warmest side of that.
So you're not cold. Yeah. No, I just like. I think that if time travel became a thing, or if I could go somewhere, that'd be great. Because if time travel was a thing, instead of going in the future, I would go in the past.
I mean, if time travel is a thing, and the first thing that you do is not go do something like kill Hitler, you're kind of a piece of shit.
Well, so technically, so let's get this right or straight. there's no way I could travel in the past even if time machines were invented right now. Because you can't travel further back than when the time machine was created because it was never been invented before then. So
that is no.
Yes.
Like, I'm sorry, but
what are you talking about?
No.
Yeah.
I've heard people say that, right? And
how could
here's
you
the thing.
travel anywhere that needs something to be invented if it's never been invented?
You get something that travels through time and space. That object,
but it was only
moves.
able to do so at the time and space it was created in.
Yes.
So
then you manipulated time by bringing it to the past with you.
No, you can't take it to the past because it can't exist.
What kind
in the
of
past.
time machine are you?
It can't exist where it's never been where it's never existed.
Either can you. So if you're back in the past, then so can it.
That's why I'm saying it wouldn't work. That's why I was saying it wouldn't work for myself. Like my idea wouldn't work.
So you're saying that
I couldn't go in the past.
But if time travel is just so, and that is another thing that Neil deGrasse. I almost got it wrong. I know. Anyways, Mr. Degrassi, he talks about
He's
that.
gonna give you a DeGrasse kicking.
Anyways, he fucking talked about that too, and he was basically saying there's like someone theorized, I forgot the smart dude that did it, theorized that you can go back in the past because it's been proven that we can go into the future, but it's theorized that we can go into the past, but only as like observatory's perspective. So it doesn't.
Okay, so I think
he is on.
I could see
there, but to me mentally that just makes no sense.
No, I could see how once time manipulation is invented, or if it already has and it's being hidden from us, once it's been invented, at that point you could probably figure out a way to maybe like pull information from anywhere on the timeline, but there's no way you could travel there. Are you thinking that so okay, I will say there's one exception. If for some reason, for some miracle, the time variance from Marvel was created and that's how timelines are controlled, okay, yes, you can go back in time because it's more like a database of time of what happened and you can just go back there. It's not like if I created a time machine right now, there's no database for that time machine of like where to visit.
That's why you put one in when you create it. What do you mean?
No. How could you program it to be somewhere it's never been or you've never been? Boom, son.
So that is part of the whole like thought process. What makes time travel so like crazy and magical is the fact that you can't necessarily wrap your head around it. And so I get when people try and you're like, well, we can't do it. And it's like,
no.
Okay, well then
I hope no. I believe it could be possible. I just don't think you could go back further than when it was invented.
Yeah, and like you know what I'm talking about when I was saying that like, they've proven that you can go forward in time.
Oh, well, I mean, yeah,
but like moving faster than the speed of light or something, and coming back, and it'll be like later than it was or some shit. Yeah, so that, yes, but I'm talking literally. There's no point of even talking about going to the past if you're gonna think about it like that. Like,
also, how does
if you can go to the
travel
past
actually work? Because like now that you said that whole aging or that whole moving forward quickly, so it by the time you get there, it's a different time period or whatever, or slower or whatever.
So you would have to theoretically move slower. You would have to like slow all the atoms down in your body
to stay the same age. That's what I was just gonna say. So if we moved in time, does anything inside of the time machine not get altered by that time movement? Because in order for you to move in time, you have to go forward or backward on a time scale. And if you do that, are you going to age with that time that you went back in time for? Or does everything that got moved stay the same?
See, this is why I should just...
I don't think I've ever watched a time traveling show where they explained why the thing inside of the time traveling device doesn't get altered.
What is the show?
Doctor Who?
No, and it doesn't explain what you're talking
Bill
about.
Bill and Ted's.
But it's a DC show, metal guy. It's got that they're like a school of gifted children, basically. But then it's like in the future, and there's that one guy who's a kid because he can time travel, but he fucks up, so it's the Umbrella Academy.
Oh,
that kid.
That's not DC.
Is it not DC?
No, that's just made off of a comic book.
I'm dumb. Okay, moving on. But that kid, when he jumps through time, he has to calculate the age difference with the time difference, and he gets like the whole math equation messed up, and that's why he's a kid. And so they kind of touch on that subject of like, do you age or would you not? But for him, that's just his ability. It's not like a time machine.
See, but that's a different. So
I'm saying it's different.
Well, no, and the thing too is
that
he's not technically using a time machine.
No, he's just teleporting.
Well, I mean, none of them in that show are technically using a time machine because it's similar to Loki in the Marvel universe. That time, the company that seeks him out, they've existed in all of time. They control. They're there to fix it. So they don't have anything before they existed or after. They always have been there. So like for us, we don't. I mean, that we know of, we don't have a organization controlling time, so it hasn't always existed. So if we just created it now, the data of time that it has would start the minute it got created. It would start absorbing information from the universe, and then you would only be able to travel back in time on that scale based off of when it was created. So 30 years from now, someone new could travel back to now, because it was created today. I don't know. Okay, let's move on.
I was just saying, time travel is such a weird topic that obviously no one's figured out. So you know what I mean?
Yeah, that we know of. But that's the thing. So like, I'm not saying I believe certain things, but I don't ever shut my brain off to not thinking that they could happen. Like when I see stuff online and people are like, "You're crazy. This could never happen." I'm just like, I've seen tons of things happen that I never thought would happen. So I'm just going to believe that one day it could be real.
Yeah. Like, if we found out that there was like legit a flat earth one day, I'd laugh so hard, but I'd feel solace in knowing that like I never gave anybody shit about it because it was like, what if? It was just like, I genuinely don't believe it right now, but who knows? You know what I mean? Like I genuinely, I don't really care.
I don't know
either,
how. I like when I hear people debate it. I just don't know how is it going to change what is it going to change? You're still going to die at anywhere between now and 100 years old or a little over that.
Exactly.
Like, you're still going to eat the same food. You're still going to drive on the same roads. Knowing that a object is round or flat, it affects what we've been taught our whole lives, and that might change something, but all that's going to do is cause you mental stress for something you can't change.
It's for the people that care about the future.
Yeah? But what is it going to change for the future?
Well, if we had a better understanding of our actual universe than we do, then that would mean that we were held back to actually progress and become more planetary.
Well,
or
no,
if planetary is even an option.
So if it was known and somebody was holding the information so that we didn't gain knowledge, then yes, there's definitely a reason. But if one day someone's like, okay, we thought we were going to outer space, but we really didn't make it as far as we thought, and now that we're out there, we can see that the world is flat, and it's just the angles we're looking at it. At that point, and then you come back, I'm not going to change the way I do anything because it doesn't change how I live.
Yeah.
Like that discovery doesn't mean that I don't have to breathe the same air I'm breathing or have the same pay bills. Like there's just this doesn't change anything. Time traveling would change my life a lot.
Indeed.
Actually, they'd probably find a way to control it, and like nobody would ever be able to use it.
It'd be like that one show, that movie Loop.
Oh, that was a good show.
What is it? Looper?
Yeah,
Looper. That was a good one.
Yeah, I thought that was also just them doing like little time jumps, though, right? Not big ones, because he would like jump from one car to another when they're.
No, I think you're thinking of Jumper.
Oh yeah.
Jumper was a good one too,
Oh, yeah.
but that was
I have seen
teleporting.
Looper also. I just haven't seen it all.
Looper's when he has to go kill himself. He's an assassin who goes back in time. Yeah. No, that was a good one.
Shoot, we got off on a pretty big tangent about time travel. And there was still stuff we both wanted to talk about. So
no, you go. I think I'm.
Well,
for the
what
most
did you
part,
catch up on? Because I cut you off at Shangri-La Frontier.
Oh yeah. So Shangri-La Frontier, I've caught up a little bit on, but
I mean, no. What did I?
Solo Leveling and Remonsters, I did finish. Which Solo Leveling is fucking stupid, dude. Honestly. Just kidding, it's so good. It's so good.
Oh my god, dude!
It's literally that was one of the best endings in a show
I've seen in so long.
The ending pissed me off in all the right ways. It's so good, just because it left me like, oh my god, I want to know.
It was one of the best cliffhangers I've seen in a long time, where it does leave you like, fuck, but it's also like, this is gonna be so good. And
but when he goes fucking berserk, when he's just like,
after he's done talking to himself,
and he's like, I'm fucked, but I'm not gonna fucking die without trying. And you just, wow, dude, I was just, it was so good. I have no words. It was amazing.
Hope that next season, okay, so Jujutsu Kaisen season 1, fucking amazing. Season 2, I feel like the fights and animation went downhill, which I told you, and you kind of argued against it, but it's whatever.
Totally disagree, but
but I just hope they don't do that with Solo Leveling, because that was just that when he did fight, it was just so good, and I hope that doesn't go away. But it's only one episode in. The other thing I wanted to say, I decided officially I'm not going to finish Ninja Kamui.
I am actually right there behind you. I was about to say that.
So I will. I mean, okay. So I will probably finish this season just because it's almost over. I will not start up the next season, or I'll at least maybe try tomorrow's episode just to see. But
next week, if you come and you tell me I gotta watch it, then I'll watch it. But
I lost all interest the moment he got that suit.
It wasn't even the suit for me. To be honest, what it really was is, like, I realized what kind of show it was going to be, and I just wasn't down for it, as far as that one weird motherfucker that just is not dead yet.
The midget guy? He dies, but...
Oh, he does die?
Yeah.
Oh, that kind of get...
As soon as he gets his suit, that ninja suit.
Oh.
He kills him.
Okay.
Yeah, he's the first one he kills, actually.
I watched the episode where, like, they are like trying to get the suit powered and stuff.
Yeah, and then the truck gets tipped over.
Yeah.
The next episode is when he kills him.
Okay.
But in that suit, and that's when
I might watch
just to see him die. My interest, because they went from having some of the best sword and fight scenes that I've seen in a while to some of the slowest. But yes, I will say they have some of the smoothest robotic or mech suit movements that I've seen. Like, there's a couple of kicks that they show the animation for, and I'm like, that was pretty fucking smooth for a mech suit kick, like the way they animated it. Because like if you watch Gundam and stuff, a lot of the mech fights are a little bit slower if they're doing hand-to-hand stuff. They're usually fighting from distance with guns and swords or something. And so it's not the same. And so they're doing this, and I'm just like, I don't want to go from watching him be this badass fucking ninja with all these abilities, and he's super good at fighting, and the animation's good, to him being in a fucking mech suit that now he's fighting other mech suits. I didn't want that. I wanted ninjas, not mech ninjas. It just lost it. It knocked the taste out of my mouth.
No, I 100% agree. And I feel like it was so unnecessary.
Yeah.
Right now, like, they could have left everybody else in mech suits, and I'd be game.
I also feel like they could have built up the reason why they left and hate the organization better, instead of just doing flashbacks and the first episode, his wife and kid dying.
I agree.
Like, they could have done a little bit character building,
but I feel like
story building.
That has been a huge thing for a lot of anime now. Well, is just
them trying to skip through and just do like 12 episodes and be done.
But that's like part of the whole new generation with our instant gratification. We don't want to push through to get to shit.
Dude,
Obviously, I'm on episode 6 of Shangri-La, and I'm all complaining about it.
But Shangri-La Frontier, to be fair, has probably at least 10 filler episodes. But they're not filler to where they're non-canon or like they don't go with the show, but they really don't progress the main story or fighting too much. And so you kind of get like, oh, this is just, a fun episode. Makes sense. There was 25 of them for their first season. Most new shows are only doing 10 to 12. If that, I think one of the shows I just finished only did 9 episodes.
Okay.
But yeah, it's just like example. What they could have done is they could have brought him in or like started the show, and then he has some conversations with his wife and kid. They go do things. They talk about their past a little bit, and she's like, "You're staying out of that, right?" Or he says that to her. And one of them finds out that the organization was still using them to run ninja missions to protect their family. And then they failed or did something wrong the next time, and then they come after them. Like they could have had like 3 or 4 episodes
that would have been
where it
nice
explained the back end of the organization better instead of just doing these flashbacks where they're like, "You're breaking the ninja code, and I'm gonna kill you now because I follow the code and you don't follow the code." What? That's in everywhere has codes. Like. Everything is policed. We fucking get that. That's a given, dude. We know.
Yeah, that
shouldn't be the only fucking backstory behind this goddamn fucking organization and what's going on. And sure, maybe the books or second seasons will like bring more out in that, but I don't want to watch a sequel before I watch the fucking prequel.
I 100% agree with that, though. And in ways, though, because I feel like it's really hard for me to get into something that's slow built like that. But there is a right way to do it to where it's not considered slow built, and you can still be very, very like interested. But I can see
Jujutsu Kaisen did it great.
Exactly.
They did the couple school scenes, and he was like, "Oh, I mean, like this is fucking weird, but if I'm gonna die, I'm just gonna fight, And they kind of like Itadori is just a stepping stone to start with, and so like they just built off of that. I get that this is a little different because he's like an experienced ninja and they have to like start somewhere, but the fucking character building for no shows anymore are doing character building.
Yeah.
What was it I was complaining about? Oh, the second season of Jujutsu Kaisen. I know that the books are written like this, but I hated how many people died in season 2. I get it. I get it, but I wish because season 1 showed so much of each person, sort of, and it started that building of like you kind of know their attitudes and why these two don't get along, and the schools are really like pitting against each other. I feel like that was a very short period of time to just wipe out half of the other school or the whole other school. It's gonna go from them having like school stuff to them only fighting enemies now. There's not going to be like that. What was the point of all that?
Which is amazing to me. I'd rather just have pure fighting, but
the show will end sooner.
I disagree.
They'll have less seasons.
I disagree. So here is my theory, and I'm hoping that it comes to me as I was thinking about this. But there's a reason why I thought about this. But people are going to start coming back as demons.
Oh, kind of like the ones that can talk. And
Exactly.
You think they'll turn good? Or
maybe
do you think Megumin is going to be able to pull him out of the shadows?
But that's more of what I'm thinking, is they're going to be used as tools.
We could just read the books and actually know by now if we wanted to.
Oh, yeah, that's true. But
I'm not going to do that. I like the anime.
I love anime too much. I'd rather watch something than read something, personally. Like,
same.
All the Harry Potter movies are way better than the books to me. Because I've never read any of the fucking books.
Yeah.
You know?
So for me, I'm a very imaginative person, and I love, like, I'm very creative. I'm like going to school for art. I do all this stuff. But I'm not one of those people, like when you're sitting, even for an example, when you're sitting at school or anywhere, and they're like, okay, close your eyes and imagine you're on a beach. Or when was the last time you did this? Close your eyes and see it. And people are always like, yeah, I see darkness. I can think about it. I could think like, dude, I could fucking think about the craziest
Wait,
unicorn
do
thing.
people really see it?
Yeah,
What?
they can see their like. So
I see like black with weird lines from the lights.
yeah, but and so like when people think of things like, oh, I'm thinking of a chocolate milkshake, they get like an image of a chocolate milkshake. I don't do that, but I could draw one. I could easily imagine. You could tell me, imagine a unicorn with like 30 hooves and all these things. I could imagine it. I can't see it. I can imagine it, and so when I write it down,
I can think of a picture of it, but when I like close my eyes, I don't have something that I could trace off of or use like a. No,
I can't even think of a picture of it. Me, I can't even see a Ninja Turtle in my brain right now. Like I can't think of a Ninja Turtle.
That I can do, but
Like right now, if you wanted to visualize a Ninja Turtle, you could visualize one.
Not a perfect one, actually. It always like gets morphed. You know what I mean?
I can't visualize stuff in my brain, but I am one of the most people I like from the people I know. I'm one of the most like creative or
no, yeah, you're definitely one of the most that I know.
I draw some of the craziest, weirdest shit when I'm drawing on my own. Like it's insane to me, and I hear people do this, and I'm like, oh, I can't do that. Like, but I can also have full conversations with myself, and I've met people that can't hear their own voice. Like,
that's insane. Like, I hear like 12 of them.
Yeah, I think Trin, like when you say to yourself, like, what? I could say that in my head and hear whoever it is in there say what. No problem. Without it verbally coming out of my mouth.
Maybe they're just NPCs.
So I'll sit there and have entire conversations with myself in my brain. Like what my plans are, what
leak it out of my brain sometimes, but yes.
Yeah. I mean
like in a mode where like I'll be sitting there, right? I could be working on something and I'm just in my head zoning out, and then bam, it's like within the snap of a finger, I'll think of something that had previously happened that was embarrassing. And out loud, like, oh yeah, that wasn't a good day, bud. And then it was just like, what the fuck? Why did you say that? Like, was that even me?
I don't have that.
Dude, I
that
would be fucking amazing to be there. Day.
I just
it can be humiliating sometimes.
This is just on my phone. And this is probably just from like 2 months. This is all ideas for products or stories for comic books or for storybooks or for video games. Like I don't ever stop thinking. If I see bumps on the wall that look like a cool fucking character, I take a picture of it and then I'll draw them based off of the bumps on the wall. I
do that.
I can visually see things. Like the kids I'll let them scribble on my paper, and within seconds I'll draw an entire fucking illustration of
That's
things.
How I used to start all my drawings.
Like, how did you see a rocket ship right there, or how did you see a dog? And I'm like, easy. Like I can lay there on the floor and just be like, oh, that's a T-Rex, or no, that's a raptor. Like even right now, that's a fucking raptor. I could draw a raptor based off that shape, easy. But like I can't see a raptor in my brain. Like I don't.
When I was a kid, what I would do is just start scribbling until I seen something and I'd finish it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I, in some ways, understand what you're talking about, but I always do look for like faces and things in things. I just don't ever do anything beyond that.
Yeah.
You take it a step further and actually create those things.
I just if I think it's worth it, or if I think that character could have something built off of them, you know. But yeah, it's just weird. So yeah, crazy minds. Oh. I don't even know what we were talking about before that. Oh,
I don't know.
Yeah, Jujutsu Kaisen.
It's the ADHD, man. Yeah. Hopefully the chat enjoys it.
Yeah, the last thing I wanted to talk about, because I think we've been over time, but
I mean, I'm not in any rush, so take your time. Let's see what you're finishing off with.
Oh, Mashal. I just wanted to tell you about Mashal.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want you to watch Mashal because I know for a fucking fact you will laugh. You're fucking. Okay. This show is so. I did not give it a chance when it first came out. It's already on second season. So, but I've been seeing it since it first came out. I've been seeing it everywhere. I've heard people talk about it. But I was just like, I read the synopsis or whatever, the description, and I was like, this sounds fucking dumb. I'm not gonna watch this. And then I started watching it because I ran out of anime to watch. I was like, I'll give it a shot. I am so glad I did. The main character so he lives in a world of magic, people have magic, but they use like it's like kind of Harry Potter type magic. Not really, but I do get a fun Harry Potter feeling when I watch it. But anyway, so he's born in this world where lots of people are born without magic, basically like muggles. But they're shunned by the magic community, and they cannot attend the school or live in the community or be there. Well, an old magic dude found this baby because some lady left it and raised it in the woods in the magic area, and just was like, I'll never like show anybody, but I can just leave the kid. So since he knows he can't do magic, what he does is his whole life is just works out. Like kind of like Asta, but times a billion. He is fucking strong, and fast and quick thinking, but he's also fucking dumb in a funny way. Like he'll say dumb things or like he's such a good character because there's not a lot going on. He's not thinking about a lot. Like he just does what he needs to do, and he's just like, okay, well, like, thanks. Like he's very monotone, but the stuff he says is so fucking funny in the show. I laugh so hard while I'm watching because I'm just like, that was so fucking stupid, but it was so fucking funny.
And it's on Crunchyroll?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the fights are good because like he fights all these like high wizardy type magic users, and they're like, you don't have magic, I'm gonna destroy you, and he just ends up pummeling the shit out of them. I'm gonna favorite it right now before I forget. Yeah. So he doesn't have anything. It's just brute strength, really. Yep. No magic. I kind of dig that. And he like freaks all the magic people out because they finally accept him into the school after he pretended to be going to that school, pretending to be a magic user. He was using all of his abilities, like his quick shit, and pretending like he was being able to fly a broom and stuff because he would just jump and dash so far and so fast that they're like, oh my god, he's already so good at flying. And then they find out he doesn't have magic, and so some people are against it, but he just does things like in this last episode, he took it, his wand is just like an iron rod. It's not even a wand because he doesn't have magic, so he doesn't need one. He just is like so strong, he's like stretching it out thinly and then carving into it and molding it like clay and turns it into a tennis racket. And all of the students that are watching this thing go on are like, oh my god, how is he doing that? Did he just stretch steel out? Like, and then the opponent he's fighting is like, that's not gonna do anything. I'm like the strongest magic user, and he is OP. His ability is he can't take any damage. He can't feel any pain, and any pain he takes, it inflicts on his enemy. So he just has to stand there stabbing himself, and it will kill the enemy because he can't feel it, and it goes to them. Well, it ends up being that Mashal he has so much strength that the stabs and stuff aren't hurting him like it would hurt somebody else. So instead he's out punching this guy so that he can hit him faster than he could heal, like have his auto healing. And then by the end of it, he's just fucking pummels the shit out of this guy. And he's taken so many hits from him and his guardian angel fucking powers and shit that he's just like, I won because I'm stronger than you. Like he just says shit that's just like, yeah. Or like the guy will be like, I do this because the weak or blah, blah, blah. And that's why he does this. And he's like, well, you better start doing that because I'm stronger than you and you're going to lose. And he's like, oh, that's big talk for someone with no magic. And then later he beats him. And he's just like, oh my God, he was right. It's such a good show that it's so funny. I love it. I love the underdog so much. The underdog story is always the best. And it's not even the underdog as much as it is the underestimated. Yeah. You know? And the ones that don't, like, they have power, but they don't care to use it all the time. Like, and like for him, like none of these battles get drawn out. It's not like it's not one of those ones where they're like, I'm about to die and I'm going to learn a new ability and I'm going to come out of it, which I love. Like, I love when Asta and any of them get in those kinds of fights. But you just kind of know, like, he's probably just going to win. Like, I cannot think of a single time where this actually happened. But one of my favorite things, I know it has, I can't think of one right now. But my favorite thing is when, like, you got your main character and he's been doing his thing for a while in some rough situations. He's got that one person who's like with him, but just not doing nothing. Yeah. And then one day he just like, oh, my buddy's going to die. Let me step in then. And just destroys. And you're like, where have you been this whole time? Yeah. And he's like,
I respect the main dude. I'm here to watch his growth. I wasn't here to intervene. I love that guy. I love it when he's just because they're calm the whole time too, so they're never panicking, and so it all makes sense later. You know what I mean? You're like,
ooh, I can point one out.
Yeah.
The lion dude from Seven. Oh wait, you haven't seen Seven Deadly Sins. Yes. There's got to be someone in Black Clover like that for sure.
Yeah,
I've seen it. I know what you're talking about.
Right? Like it's a familiar thought that I've had, but
in shows where you've seen them fight a little bit and then they get stronger, like they just didn't ever really use any of their strength. I've even seen shows where the main character thinks he's beating people and it's really his like friend being so quick or so whatever that he's killing them or defeating them and just letting him think he's doing it because he doesn't want any of the show. I've seen stuff like that too, so yeah, no, that's good. I like those types of things, the build up and where you get to see, like, I think my hero's doing a good job at those things. I think Jujutsu Kaisen's doing a good job. Did you ever watch? It's a darker show. It's like one of the old Dark Threes. Before Chains Man. What?
Tokyo Ghoul.
Yeah, Tokyo Ghoul.
Is that the one that you're talking about? Dude. Okay. One of my favorite, hands down favorite anime scenes ever came from Tokyo Ghoul, and I'm barely a fan of Tokyo Ghoul. So
wait a second. What
I loved the first 2 seasons.
Okay, I agree.
Yeah. So as soon as it went off, I stopped watching. Yeah.
But I watched all of it. The
fucking scene when dude breaks his leg and he's like, "You've been torturing me for like fucking 7 days, bro. You think that fucking matters?" And then he just continues to eat the dude.
Yeah.
It was just like, oh my god, like that favorite scene of any anime of all time.
You're talking about when he's locked up by the
guy and he's torturing him and he's like battling with that chick. And then he
finally beats his ass.
Yeah, and she's just like, what, you think sitting here and being fucking torturing yourself is going to help anybody? Are you fucking stupid?
Yeah.
And he's just like, so I got to torture other people to be better?
That show, like,
fuck it.
That show puts you on, like, edge of, like,
who is the bad guy?
Is this dark? Like, this is, or, like, is this too dark of a show? Like, this is, you know.
Indeed, but it's so good.
I loved the first 2 seasons of Tokyo Ghoul.
What happened?
What was it called? Tokyo it was something.
Tokyo Ghoul.
No, it was like the season that changed, like, from what it was.
Did they rename it? That would make
they did it in the book too.
But like, why the fuck did they get like a new creator or something? Like, what was the idea behind that? It makes no sense to me. Tokyo Ghoul was so good, though.
Yeah. I'm trying to find the names of them.
His mask was sick as fuck, too.
Yeah. Another one that I got into, like, after Tokyo Ghoul, that I tried. Oh, yeah, Tokyo Ghoul Re. So those are the seasons I didn't like.
Yeah. Agreed.
I mean, I still watched them because I already, like, put so much time and effort into watching all of Tokyo Ghoul.
So you finished them and they're trash?
No, I don't. No, they're not. So the fights, the development stuff's all similar, but there's like a big shift in how the story is, and I just don't like the route they took. Nobody really did. It got a lot of bad
from what I've heard too.
So
that's why I didn't finish it.
But. Yeah, well, it's the same thing. So, like, Sword Art Online that I was telling you about, the second season of that is, like, they go into a VR world that's, like, all about fairy. It's a fairy world. And a lot of people do like it, but I wasn't. It was not even close to the same atmosphere as the first one, and that's what I loved. And so I didn't really give it a chance, and I probably won't. The second season was all about a VR game that used guns instead of swords and stuff. And so it's all the same people, or the people who lived. And it's still kind of like the same premise and has a lot of build-up, but I didn't like it. So I went from season 1 to one of the movies to the last ones I was telling you about, just because of the same thing, like where they just kind of fucked up the next couple seasons.
See, yeah, I don't know. I have a really hard time watching shows where it's like I don't watch them full all the way through. So to be able to skip season 2 and 3,
Well, because it
It's gonna
doesn't
suck.
So
but I'll do it.
And you don't have to, because the people in like 4 and 5, season 4 and 5, are from the first 3 seasons too. So there was some people I had to relearn who they were because I didn't watch those seasons. But I mean, they weren't big people, so it wasn't like a huge issue. But I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, there's so many good anime, dude. Goblin Slayer, like,
But Monster, man, that's been so good. I don't know how you could.
The last episode was just the repeat of the first episode.
In a sense, but it's still working in the right direction. They have been building since day one, and they're continue building.
Yeah,
and I get that you don't want to wait too long for the building, but it's only 3 episodes.
I just want him to find out that there's like there's other powerful people out there, and then he has like. I
agree. Which he definitely will.
I don't want him just to keep saving. Like, I don't want it to progress where he's just like the savior of everybody quickly. Like,
oh, I just realized I already said what I wanted to say about that, which was just that, like, I think he will get there, but it's going to be the thing where he has all these abilities that there's going to be so many reasons why he shouldn't be sitting there fighting for his life, and you're just like, what are you doing, dumbass? But yeah,
I've thought that a few times about like Eraserhead and My Hero, like why they didn't invent saline goggles that he can wear all the time to keep his eyes open.
Seriously, though.
Like, there's so many things that he could be so much more powerful to be used, especially like as a teacher in those combat situations to keep people. I know it would take away from the struggle, and I love Eraserhead, and I love the way they help each other and how he's like starting to build a relationship with the students. But the things like that, like, you have fucking whatever mic and he has speakers built into his neck. You can't fucking give this dude some saline goggles so he can have not dry eye.
Yeah. That doesn't make any sense to me either, but no, I feel like they're going to.
Nah, I don't think they will for him. I think
because like everybody's got like their own little upgrades. You know what I mean? Yeah. But he doesn't have shit besides that little fucking scarf.
Little, so that thing's badass.
Well, yeah, not little, I mean, and it is badass. But no, and yeah, I think you're right actually, because I think that's kind of what makes him him. Is his lack of everything else. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is probably getting to that time, isn't it? Sorry.
Yeah, but I also did have. I just forgot what it was. I had another thing. That I was watching. I don't know if I put on my watch list. Sometimes I forget to do that, and then I have to go find the show again. If you do end up liking some of the fight scenes in that show that I told you, Windbreaker, you definitely have to give God of High School a shot. God of High School is such a good show.
Is that the one where you were talking about where he's at the school and it's like the school for fighters and all that stuff?
At the beginning of our earlier now, that's Windbreaker.
So
God of High School started out as like a webtoons anime, and then it became an actual anime. And it's all like tournament rink fighting against like people at these schools and around the world, but it's not just like stuff doesn't just only happen in the rink, but it's got really good character building and fights. Like the fights are so good. But I also really like close combat fighting in anime if they do it right.
Same. It's so good. It can be so good.
Yeah. That's what I loved about Jujutsu Kaisen. Like, they did such a good job with, like, him and Toto's fucking fight against what's her face in season 1 was so good.
I think any of his and Toto's fights have been amazing though. The fucking clap shit.
Oh yeah. Did you finish Hell's Paradise?
Hell's Paradise? Yeah.
Oh, okay, I thought you had a couple of episodes to catch up on.
No, I finished that shit immediately.
I'm trying to see what else I finished.
I love it.
I've seen so many random shows that I know you would probably never watch.
That's fair.
I like lots of stuff though. Like, one of my favorite movies, anime movies, is The Boy and the Beast. It's like it reminds me of a Jungle Book, but like anime and like with some like fighting and stuff. It's a super good movie.
I'll check that out.
It's I think like a 2-hour movie. It's super good though. It's not a lot of action, but it's got a really good story for like a movie that's supposed to be kind of like that. Super good. I highly recommend it.
No.
Another really good one. If you do you cry on shows or movies?
Oh yeah, I'm a sucker.
One that would get you that got me. I do. I cry on shows.
Oh yeah.
Silent Voice.
Silent Voice.
Dude, I watched it for school. They didn't make me, but we had to pick some shows to watch. We had to pick something for a project like last year for computer animation, and I chose to watch A Silent Voice just because nobody else in the class did. It wasn't even on the list. She just said we could watch whatever, but it had to be there had to be something in there that wasn't nonverbal, because the point was trying to see if the movie did a good job at pushing gestures across to the audience and feelings and personality without having a lot of talking. Well, Silent Voice, one of the main characters, she's deaf and she can't speak, and she gets picked on, and the main character guy picked on her growing up, and then like you just see like this whole, it comes back around, and they kind of like, he starts to stick up for her and take care of her and learn sign language, and the animation is so beautiful, and it's just such a good show. But it's made me cry like 2 or 3 times. Not gonna lie, even Boy and the Beast made me cry.
I have a hard time watching anything that's not fictional, though. I don't know why.
I think all anime is fictional.
Well, nothing that, okay, so anything that can't really happen in real life is something I'll watch.
It's not fantasy.
Yeah, fantasy, yeah.
Yeah.
I have such a hard time watching anything that's
Boy and the
realistic.
Beast is fantasy, so you might like that one if you give it a chance. But the other one is not. It's like watching like a regular movie, but in anime form, and obviously much more beautiful because it's an anime. And
dude, like fucking Shameless. You know how much better that show would be if those fucking kids had superpowers? Oh my god, dude. I'm dead serious, too. They would be amazing, dude. It would be fucking amazing.
Another show that everyone's tried to get me to watch that's like has hundreds of thousands of episodes is Fairy Tail, and I just haven't done it.
I haven't even been recommended that one yet, to be honest.
Yeah, I won't. What the heck? There's a Ninja Turtles thing on. Oh, it's a video game. So Crunchyroll. You can play it straight from Crunchyroll.
Is it a game that you can play on
Yeah,
Crunchyroll?
Street Fighter Duel times Ninja Turtles.
I'm gonna have to give that a shot. I'm curious.
Yeah, I can't find the show I was talking about. It was a newer one, and I just watched one episode, and I forgot to click watch list, so I'll see it again when it pops up, and I see where it says like, oh, new this week or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see anything else. Oh, Tsumagichi has been pretty good.
Tsumagichi.
Moonlight Fantasy. It's kind of like the wrong way to use healing magic, in the sense that this hero got summoned from another world into a world, but when he arrives, the goddess is like, oh my god, you're so ugly, I'm gonna banish you to the edge of the world and I'll get a new adventure. And the dude that summoned him for her was like, oh, I feel bad. So he like gave him a little bit of power, and now he's like living on the outskirts of the world, but he's like OP as fuck, like so strong, but the goddess thinks he's ugly because of his eyes and stuff, and so she stripped him from she gave him all the abilities he's supposed to have, but she said, I'm gonna strip you from the ability to talk to humankind. You can talk to any other kind, but you can't speak human. So he has to communicate to any humans in text, like text bubble, and they'll be like, why are you talking to us in text? And he's like, this is the only way I can speak your language because of curses or something. But he can talk to like the demons and all this stuff. So he like
This sounds fucking badass.
He has like
too.
dragons and shit that become his partners, and like they build their own fucking world based off of his memories. So now they're bringing like in his area that no one else can get into because of all the people he's acquired that have these abilities. His world is like getting rebuilt like from Japan in this world. So they're getting fruits they've never seen and stuff. But the real people don't know anything about it, or the goddess, because she banished him to the edges of the... So he keeps saving people in all these villages, and he's just trying to stay out of her, like not be known by her. And he's like, I love, like, to himself, he's like, I love being here. I don't ever want to leave. Talking like as a credits end, and I'm like, oh, it's fun. It's definitely not constant like action, but it's a good show. It's all fantasy. So
yeah, you gotta text me all these. I forget the names every time I go home.
I will. What I do, just real quick before we close out, what I do is like on Mondays, if I have time, I always just go. I check every couple of days, but Mondays for sure. I always just go to recently updated.
Yeah, I've been doing that since you told me last time.
If I think the description sounds fine, or I like the cover art, I'll watch the first episode or the first half of it, or as far as I can get into it before I'm like, this is fucking dumb. And I've found so many good ones like that. Like I watched Demon Slayer, way before most of the people in the U.S. even knew about it as an anime. I was watching it on fucking like, not dark web stuff, but like,
yeah,
not legal to be streamed in. And I had to watch it in subs and stuff, and I kept telling people about it at work, and I'm like, this show is it's so fucking amazing, and people are like, I'm not gonna put that much time into trying to watch a show, like go to these websites and do all this stuff. And then it came out, and everybody's like, Demon Slayer, and I'm like, yeah, I fucking told you, because
that's such a good fucking
when my shows
one
end
to be ahead of too.
Yeah, and my like when my shows end, it was the same thing with Jujutsu Kaisen. Like a lot of people didn't even watch it until way after.
That's fair.
When I run out of those shows, I only have certain types of anime I like. So I'll do like a deep search of like shows that are just like Jujutsu Kaisen, or shows that are just like this, and then I'll test like the top 10 and be like, yeah, this is similar, and like that's how I just find a lot of good anime.
No, ever since you told me about that, that's how I've been like finding anime that I've been interested in. Yeah. I've just had such a long list to watch already that I haven't really.
Catch up on,
yeah. Which by the time I get caught up, you'll already have 10 more animes we're gonna watch, which is fine. But anyways, are we gonna call it?
Yeah, I think we'll call it. Thank you guys so much.
Really good stream.
This was a good episode.
This was a really good episode. I feel like
I think we had a lot of good conversation even outside. Like that, I think even the time travel conversation was really good.
Yeah, even if we didn't stay on track of our normal thing, we also didn't go off track of what we say that our podcast is about.
Yeah, as long as we don't ever get into
politics,
then I'll be fine. Like, or personal. Like, I don't care about talking to us personal, or maybe even our wives and girlfriends and whatever. I mean, wife and fiance. I shouldn't say wives and girlfriends, because that leaves them to wonder if we have more.
That's horrible.
Yeah, I thought about it after it came out of my mouth.
We can cut that part
out. But yeah, no. So I was just, I'm glad that even when we do get off track, it's on track.
Yes, very much so.